It's 4 PM on a Sunday, which means it is time for the Thyworm Weekly Roundup with my curated news and personal gaming endeavors. Are you enjoying these? Consider subscribing. It's a slow week, ladies and gentlemen, which means a short episode. Last Epoch released a small hotfix, patch 0.7.7f, and normally I don't cover these in detail, but this one deserves an honorable mention because they fixed the chat. The chat was broken because every time you typed something or used Alt-Tab or just did something random with chat, the chat widget would basically stop working. You wouldn't see any messages from anyone anymore and the whole thing crashed. Only waiting a long time or restarting the game would fix it. This is no longer the case. Chat has been working fine since this patch, so that is nice to see. Remnant from the Ashes, a pretty popular game that released last year, is coming with a new premium DLC. More content for this supposedly really good game. The Swamps of Courses, as the DLC is called, upgrades that very zone in the game and offers a new roguelike game mode where you need to fight for your survival and upgrade your gear along the way. You start with a pistol and some scraps, and by making your way through the zones in this game mode, you'll be able to craft better and better gear. Ultimately, there is a unique armor to collect as well as 50 new armor skins. It could add a decent bunch of replayability to this game depending on how it is implemented. Besides these new features, expect new armor, weapons, mods and traits. The DLC Swamps of Courses releases April 28th, which is really soon, for $10. I might dive into this game at some point as well because, as you may have been able to tell, I haven't played Remnant yet. I've been tracking this roguelite action RPG for a while, called Arboria. It's got all the ingredients: procedural generated dungeons, a wide skill set, bunch of different enemies and mutations to become stronger over time. I like this sort of crudely polished indie look as well, judging from the trailer. It seems rather rough around the edges, but nonetheless an interesting game. And just saying, but if this is the soundtrack that we hear while fighting monsters, I'm game. This title enters early access May 7th, 2020. The devs from Dreamscaper released another update. Apparently the game received already 1000 Steam reviews, which is a lot for a demo, honestly. Reviews were very positive as well. The devs also shed some light on the future development of Dreamscaper, regarding, for example, the difficulty. Admitting that it is hard to tailor a game towards a broad audience, they also provide a reason for why the demo may seem a bit unbalanced. For the record, I thought the difficulty was perfectly fine. That reason is because of the length of the demo, making it not so easy to gradually let the players get accustomed to the difficulty. The final game shouldn't have this problem. Dreamscaper, the final product, will also have better sound design, more enemy variety, and the game is supposed to release somewhere this year. You can already play the demo for free, however. Shard Trollslayer update is live. Here's a small overview of the new features. There's a new boss, and it should be no surprise, but it is a troll. There are 2 new skill trees: athletics for those movement and stamina perks, and combat mastery. More save slots. Altars along the roads which grant blessings, grave robbing with either a shovel or your bare hands, new flora, new fauna, a new meat system where each animal now drops its own meat with their own different properties, I'm sure, a new ending to the main questline, a fast travel system after you completed parts of the quest, 2 hidden quests, 3 new points of interest, a new dungeon type, the catacombs, with proselytes in them, new dialogues and a whole heap of other stuff in there as well. It's a full content patch. It released April 14th and it is free if you have bought Shard in early access. Adam RPG, a post-apocalyptic turn-based RPG, releases their standalone expansion Trudograd soon, on May 11th. It may be standalone, but it is still recommended you play the original games first, so that story makes sense. The Fallout-inspired game has gained quite some popularity on Steam, and it is the sort of game that eats away your time without you realizing it. This time around, it's not a nuclear war threatening mankind, but a meteor from the sky. Pricing isn't available yet, but you can continue your Wasteland stories in just a few weeks in the Atom universe. Some personal gaming updates. I purchased a few items to improve the YouTube content. I ordered the Helicon XLR Go, which is apparently a really good audio interface with built-in de-esser, compressors, signal boosting and all sorts of fancy microphone stuff. It's going to help me a lot and save me a lot of time in post-processing the audio. I added a microphone to that as well, the Shure SM7B studio microphone, pretty much the unrivaled microphone when it comes to home recording and streaming, and it is supposed to work flawlessly with the XLR Go. This setup is arriving in a month or so, probably probably because of delivery issues because of the virus. I'm really looking forward to that. I subscribe to Epidemic Sounds for around $13 a month. It's a music library with music that you can monetize on YouTube. Monetization isn't all that important, but not getting copyright claims is kind of nice, and all this music is allegedly not doing that. We'll see. It also has a great studio of sound effects and a bunch of really smooth tracks in there, perfect for my videos. It should up the production quality quite a bit, and I always like putting good music to accompany the voiceovers, and now I can. Finally, I reinstalled the streaming setup, this time in the small office room, but it still looks nice, I think. I'll be doing a bit more streaming, maybe every week or every 2 weeks. I enjoy it, and it is great to see you guys and talk to you guys live. In fact, I'll be streaming in a few hours after this video releases. You can find the streams a few days in advance on YouTube. And that is all I have for you this week. Follow me on Twitter at Thyworm. Thanks so much for watching and making it to the end. I'll see you all next week. Love you all. Bye bye.